Whoa. Okay. Ooh, huge yawn when I got that. Okay. Gerardo. Oh, you are so sweet, JP. You rock. Okay, Gerardo tells me, let's see what he's building for me here. He just seems like a go 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 kind of person. And he says until I can't, and then he makes me feel like he deteriorates in some way or goes down in steps in some way. Father figure passes medically, hard time breathing. And then he talks about how he was go go go, so this could indicate that he had a hard time getting around toward the end of his life. But I feel like it was quickly, like a quick decline toward the end. Does this make sense so far? Any of this resonate? I want to make sure I'm talking to the right fella. Always what I try to do. Okay, Sosa says yes. Okay, who is this for you? Another thing, just really quick, he shows me this, but with no trauma behind it, and this indicates like we didn't get a chance to say goodbye. Okay, and he indicates that, but he shows me a lot of sunshine. He almost shows me like maybe he's being taken care of, or he's unresponsive at some point in the end, or we feel like we didn't get to physically chance to say goodbye. He didn't get there quick enough, something like this. But he makes me feel like everything is great. Everything is good. He's at peace. And then he kind of says the words finally, like this is something that maybe had gone on for a while, whatever it was, in the many ways that it could have potentially shown up. I think it did. So how did they end up passing, and who is it to you? Love this. And I know you can't see your book yet, so let me go ahead and show you what your book looks like with your signs and symbols so far. This says go go. I just did a capital E for whatever purpose. Okay, so Sosa says it's my father, and I love this. So he comes through as a father energy for you. Bam. How did he end up passing? He gives me, he gives me so many visuals. If you ever get lost in thought, if you ever have to like come back to, if you ever just like look up and see that he's there, or you're thinking about him randomly during the day, you gotta make sure you say hi, because that's really how he communicates. Okay, so Sosa says that it was actually a sudden infection and we didn't know the cause of it. So he even tells me that he declines medically. Maybe he wasn't able to respond. Maybe he, went down quickly in steps, and wow, and it was a sudden infection and that they didn't even know the cause of it. I just really am like looking into this, and I just like can't even, every time I go into his energy really deeply, I yawn. I think my reading with you started with a yawn, and I think I'm yawning through it. Honestly, I like look into all of it, and I feel like, maybe he's like, he's really funny. So he goes, well, I kind of always, had a little issue pooping. It could have been something back there, just like, and it kind of seems like he gives me the sign symbol of it's like really out of sight. So even if we went looking for it, we wouldn't have been able to find it. And so he makes me feel like, don't feel like you didn't get a chance to say goodbye. I feel like even if you were present, he knew you were present or heard what you talked about. He's actually talking about his visitation. Were you able to go? He was a hard worker and always on the go, and he knew he was sick and he didn't feel good and didn't take anything for it, is what I'm assuming the rest of that says. And there he goes talking. He didn't take any days off of work until they told him to go home, and by the time that he goes home, it's too late. It is spread too far, and he declines very quickly, which he also told us at the beginning as well. So listen, Sosa, this is your primary guardian angel. Connection is closer than you give it credit for, okay? You need to be paying attention to all things visual, seeing things out of the corners of your eyes, down hallways, between doorways. When you look, nobody's there. That's a visual thing. When you randomly think of him, or you catch yourself looking right at him, but only in your attic space of your imagination, say hi, even if it's for a blip. Those dreams you have of him, and he goes, and I try to have her smell me whenever she can, but it's a little mixture of all these things is the way he communicates with you. So absolutely love that. And he's a stubborn ass. He said you're a stubborn ass too, but the same things aren't like inevitably going to. He got to the hospital 30 minutes Okay, Sosa says, I got to the hospital 30 minutes after he passed, and he talks about you feeling like you didn't get a chance to make it, and he already talked about that sunshine he put around the entire situation. He feels like you got a chance to say goodbye. He feels like it was enough. He knows. Remember how he said, even if I couldn't say anything, even if I couldn't speak, I know that you're there. He said, I knew you were there. I did not pass alone. And he goes, of course I waited. It was just a little awkward. And so I love his sense of humor to break everything up. And he loves you and he's proud of you. And that's all we really need to hear from Dad. But if you ever want to go further, you know how to find me. And thank you so much for coming on today.